नमस्कार, आप सभी का एक बार पुनः स्वागत है। मैं हूं राहुल और आप देख रहे हैं पीएम eVidya चैनल्स और एनसीईआरटी का ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल। This is the time when we bring you the live telecast of Sahyog session, and today is very important day as we talk about mental well-being and mental wellness in Sahyog sessions. और आज जबकि मेंटल हेल्थ डे है जो कि विश्व भर में मनाया जा रहा है, जाहिर सी बात है कि मेंटल हेल्थ की हम कभी बात नहीं करते, लेकिन उस ओर ध्यान देना सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। हर वर्ग के लिए देना ज़रूरी है, चाहे वो छात्र हो, चाहे वो दौर हो जब आप 20 से 30 के बीच में होते हैं या किसी भी उम्र के पड़ाव में होते हैं। सो टुडे इन Sahyog session we are going to discuss the impact of cyberstalking on mental health and well-being. This is the topic on which we are going to discuss something very important. We have two guests I would like to invite on screen and welcome Dr. Tehseen Taj from our Regional Institute of Education, NCERT, Mysuru. Dr. Tehseen, namaskar and a very warm welcome. Adab.
Namaskar, thank you so much.
And also we have practicing counselor Mrs. Janani V. Mrs. Janani, namaskar and a very warm welcome.
Namaskar, thank you.
So we are about to begin this wonderful session, and I request you all please be with us and ready with your questions and queries if you have any regarding the mental health and of course with this subject. So Dr. Tehseen, मैं आपसे शुरू करूँगा as we are talking about cyber stalking. हमने stalkers के बारे में जाना है, पढ़ा है, साइबर सेफ्टी की भी हम बात कर रहे हैं. वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग साइबर जागरूकता दिवस एंड अ वीक. सो व्हाट इज साइबर स्टॉकिंग?
Yeah, thank you, Rahul ji. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the cyber stalking. So this is the one of the important aspect and the topic in today's session. So let us first understand what is exactly the cyber stalking is. And here in this session, we are going to discuss how it can be done and what are the prevention and what are the different tips of cyber stalking also. So nowadays we know that internet is common for all. The internet and online applications have become fundamental parts of society. So while undoubtedly beneficial, they also present threats to children and everyone, those who are utilizing mobiles or technology, those who are using, it can be a threat. We can say it can be a threat. And they are children, it may be their children, adolescents and adults, like everything. So cyber stalking and cyber harassment are these two dangerous in this internet world. You know, we are using internet, like most of the emails will come and most of the messages will come, and we don't know which are the emails, and they are sending threats to us. And even how they are cyber harassing is going to be done. So with cyberbullying, which is exactly defined as the repeated and intentional use of some various forms of technology, like it may be some of the cell phones or pagers, emails, instant messages, through it can be done. And even like many of the websites also we can see, like it may be individuals or the groups. So they are just intended to send the harmful messages, like it should be harmful for our devices. And somehow it is indirectly or directly it is connecting to our mental health too. So where these kind of some messages or emails we are getting in our mobiles, it will start it with that it is intentionally it is being sending. Then when we'll feel some afraid, or it can be dangerous, or it can be some emotional disturbance we will see. So cyber stalking is a type of cyber crime that uses the internet and technology to harass or to stalk a person, especially to harass us or to stalk a person. So this is the main intention of that.
Okay.
So it can be considered an extension of cyberbullying and in-person starting. So however, it takes the form of text messages, either emails, social media posts, like one of the email you are checking, or social media posts are there are a lot of comments will be there. So just simply we want to check that what are these comments are. And it may be some other mediums, and it also it can be seen. And this is most of that cyber stalking is deliberately it can be done. They are very possessive about that. It can be procedural. They are persistent to do that, and it is also can be done as a methodological. So it is often starts with harmless interaction. So first of all, we will say it is when we usually see that it is just an email. Why should I annoy it? Or why should I fear with these images? So usually when we see it will, in the starting or initial stage, it is harmless. So when we are going into entering this and opening the email messages or involving in that or just sending the reply to that, then when we are having interaction with that, so often we know that it is somewhere we are going to be stuck or like that. So I would like to give some examples of that. It may be there is some particular targets are there. They repeatedly they will message like they are hacking their online accounts, and most of the nowadays you have been seeing Facebook accounts are going to be hacked with some other's name. They are creating their accounts and they are asking for money, and even like some unwanted gifts or like you just open this message, you will get a gift. This kind of messages, and even some of the confidential information they want to take it, isn't it? So all these are they are creating some fake messages, fake posts just to stalk these person, and they will getting to enter in their personal information, and they will track their devices, they will hack the devices, which is anytime it can be happen when we are using online and internet.
Right.
So rest of that somewhat information more I would call Janani ma'am. She'll give more information about that.
Right, right. So as we know about this cyber stalking, and but is it a process or how is it done? So let's go to Mrs. Janani. So this is the question arises, how so how it is done. So would you like to please enlighten us?
Thank you, Rahul sir and Tasin madam. Yes, right. Like Tasin madam rightly pointed out. So this cyber stalking is actually the cyber stalker's major motive is that they will try to change the routine of one person by putting them into an annoying or alarming state by creating some emotional imbalance. So there are many ways that the cyber stalkers can handle. Like they repeatedly send unwanted messages or they do unwanted phone calls to the person. So the marginal difference between cyberbullying and cyber stalking, we could say, is that cyberbullying mostly is done with the persons of same age group. It could be of classmates or the seniors in the school that way. But cyber stalking can differ with cyberbullying in the way that this can be done by any person of any age group. So the repeated messages or phone calls that we are receiving could be the start of the cyber stalking. So like madam pointed out, it may be a threatening message or it may not be also. So initially they start with the technique of messages with that which may not threaten anybody. Then they start posting messages or images of one person on social media or discussion groups without their consent itself. They do observe or follow their online activities, and they do spy with the help of the Google Maps Street Views, and they create fake profiles. So fake profiles, in the sense we know nowadays children are widely using WhatsApp or Instagram. So let us consider the example of WhatsApp, where when the child is receiving some unwanted message, some few times the child may ignore, and then if the main thing in cyber stalking is that repeatedly the person will receive message, right? So when the child is receiving unwanted message very much persistently, it has to be taken care. Even after blocking the person's personal account also, they will try to create a fake profile and will try to contact the person.
Right.
Also, they try to spread rumors online. So rumors could be a small thing about the person, or it could defame the name of the person also. Defaming, in the sense, it can be done in two ways, like we say the term as libel or slander. Libel is a kind of a bad reputation that is given to somebody with the help of writing and posting in the social media or in any means of written format. Slander is the one which gives a false reputation for a person through spoken statements. So these are the few techniques they use to spread rumors. And we have some other few more techniques for the stalkers that they do is by hacking the personal email of person, or by with social media or their accounts, and they do also check their check-ins. I mean, they actually monitor their check-ins on social media. Like for example, they nowadays the children are having the habit of enabling the check-ins in the FB, like
Right.
wherever they visit new places, they used to enable check-ins in the
Check-ins.
Facebook.
Yes.
So for this, definitely GPS has to be turned on, wherein for the stalkers, it become a cakewalk for them to stalk on the people. And then they also install stalkerware. So children may be wondering why, if it is not a good thing, why the market is providing all these things. So this stalkerware is actually developed for the purpose, or it is available in the market for the purpose of parental monitoring tool in the name of that. But the stalkers use this for the negative purpose of spying or stalking the people. Also, the stalkers try to hijack the webcam with the malicious software, and they collect the information about the person. And like for secondary school students or higher secondary school students, we can consider a situation if somebody is stalking on you. Like if you are leaving from the school, also they will try to gain information about the students with by the help of others. So these are the different ways the stalkers use to stalk some.
Right. Thank you, Mrs. Janani. All the viewers, I request, please be with us, and this is really wonderful and very helpful session for you all. Let's move ahead. Suppose if there is something, cyber stalking, and definitely it attacks on the mental health of the adolescents. So, Dr. Tehseen, there is a question for you. What are the consequences of this cyber stalking, on the mental health especially?
Yeah, thank you, Rahulji. So let us discuss about some of the consequences of cyber stalking on mental health. Maybe in the beginning, you don't even realize that you are being stalked. So the criminals are quite careful about it. They initiate random, like sweet talks that seem amusing and harmless. So however, these things take a swift turn with the time, and you will realize that you are being stalked across in it through the different channels. So that is cyber stalking happens when someone continuously bugs in your online world with terrible messages. They are constantly prevalent, and you are unable to avoid them. So these unpleasant messages that you are receiving may impact you, and it could be a form of harassment. So later you are coming to know that you are stalked and it is harassment. So in cyber stalking, the individuals are not stalked offline, so there is no direct communication either. However, it can be quite troublesome to the victims. It impacts their mental health and well-being too. So because they will think that, oh, my some information, my personal information or photos or images, anything, it can be hacked by someone, or it can be leaked out somewhere. And recently we have seen so many situations related to this also. So the best way to tackle this crime is by getting in touch with the law of enforcement, and it may be filing a complaint against that. And estimation of cyber stalking victimization have ranged from 3.7% to 82.28%. So when victims do not identify their experiences or abuse, this can cause victimization to continue it, especially because the victims feel confusion and shame. So without realizing they are not to blame, and it may be like what is happening, and they are not able to tell under which problem they are going to, what are the problems they are facing. So the problems, it may be they are in very shock and disbelief. They are kind of like, it may be a shock, and even like changes in eating and sleeping patterns. So always they are thinking on that. So what happened and what it can be done, and it may be like kind of a threaten among them. And even physical and emotional reaction will be changed. Experiences and confusion, always anger, fear of safety because data will leak out. So risk of psychological trauma, anxiety, it suffers from distress, depression, helplessness. They are total helpless, and they don't know how to deal with this problem. And triggers, sometimes what happens, triggers for suicidal attempts too, also we can see. So the wide scope and high prevalence of negative mental health impacts that demonstrate that cyberstalking and harassment adversely affect the people psychologically, socially, physically, and even financially. When so many of that cases they have lost the jobs too.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Agreed, agreed. Thank you very much for sharing this deep thought with us. So this is the time we need to know the deal, how to deal with this situation. So we have a practicing counselor. Janani ji, this is the question for you. Would you please share the ways, to deal with this situation if anyone, going through this trauma?
Yeah, thank you, Rahul ji.
Please.
So yes, we have definitely, when we have some problems, we also have some solutions to deal with cyber stalking. So the first thing we will have to do is that we will have to try the stalker. So like we know, like Hasin madam said, most of us may not know that we are the victim of that crime. Similarly, even the stalkers may also not know. Like in the age group of, like in the adolescent age, like from grading from 9th to 10th, 12th standard, they may not know what they are doing actually. So even it is an alarming situation for the stalker also, that whether they are intentionally doing or for fun they are doing. But since there is a law amendment also for this, it has to be taken care very carefully. So the first thing that has to be done is that we will have to tell the person to stop actually what they are doing. And the person has to refrain themselves from interacting with the stalker again. So once this is done again and again, the victim should not interact with the person, and they should not also respond to the social media comments or emails or messages, whatever is being posted to the person. The best practice is to ignore whatever the messages they are receiving or whatever actions they are into. Then we will have to actually block the person cyber stalking on social media, on phone, and anywhere else being contacted. This can be done like earlier we were discussing the example of WhatsApp. Similar to that, when you receive any message notification from the unknown number, you will see whether to continue with the contact or to block and report. So when you have a doubt that whether the person is not in our contact list and we could be a prey of that crime, then we should definitely block the person and report to that particular site. And then the main thing is that we will have to minimize the ability of the stalker to reach us. Since it is a crime, we can also notify the authorities in case of persistence of this problem. And though it is like Tasin madam pointed out, it is a very unpleasant situation for anybody to have such text messages or videos with us. But still, though it is an unpleasant situation or unpleasant thing to have such messages with us, it is very much important to retain all those messages as evidences to produce for the concerned authorities. So we will have to make sure to have another copy also if at all it is misplaced. We can report the person cyber stalking, like I have told the example of blocking and reporting to the WhatsApp. So similar to that, we can also report the person who is cyber stalking. That can be reported to the website or the ISP, that is Internet Service Provider also.
Okay.
So it is a very important notice for the parents also at this time, that you will have to check your teen's computer hacked or not. Like this can be checked with the regular monitoring of the computers and internet, the pages that they are visiting and all. Right. So make sure whether the computer or the device, whatever device you are using, is always clean and secure, which will definitely save you from cyber stalking. Thank you.
Right. This is really, really important for all the stakeholders like guardians and parents to keep on checking on your kids to whom they are dealing with. So Janani ji, a very common question I have for you. What is the difference between when we talk, when we click on any number in WhatsApp? So there are two options. One is block and one is report. So what is the difference if we block only and if we report too? What is the difference?
Sorry?
When we click on any number, right, which is unwanted in our WhatsApp list, right?
WhatsApp.
Yes. So we get two options. They are block and report, right?
Yes.
So yes. What will happen if we block it only, or
Okay.
what is the difference
So if
between
we
block
are
and
just
report?
blocking the person, we may not receive the messages from the person again and again.
Right.
But if we report, if we click block and report, then this, it may be notified to the WhatsApp that this person is sending messages without our consent, or it's an illegal activity. So that
Okay.
is the case when we click block and report. So after that, that person will definitely not be able to contact us.
Right. All right. Thank you very much. And this is the question
Thank you.
for all the adolescents. I just tried to ask, because this is a very common question and very helpful, as we should know about the difference between block and report. This is our moral responsibility to report those numbers to WhatsApp, as this number is doing something harmful for the society. Let's move ahead. We have hardly 5 minutes. So, Dr. Tehseen, we are going to conclude this session very soon. So this is the time where, when we try to provide some solutions for the adolescents, right, those who are going through this age, and this is the time when they should know about this cyber stalking. So what are the tips for protecting their accounts in this virtual world?
Sure, Rahulji.
Please.
So most of the points Janani madam has covered, and still I would like to give some of the tips where from our side we can use that. So like
Please.
first we have to make sure that increase what your privacy settings are there, like start up your own data, take a good look at your own social media accounts, those who are your social media accounts. So which are the friends that are there, what is the posts you are giving in that. So make your post friends only, so that only people you know get to see them. So it is not as a public one, make it as a private one where your friends, they can see your post and they can share with your comments, they can discuss with you. And don't let social networks post your address or phone number publicly. So it may be, you might have like all problems you can face it when it can be a public one. Leave optional fields in social media profiles. Like most of the time when we are going to start our media accounts, it will ask your date of birth or what's your options are there. So leave it blank. Otherwise, all these your personal profiles or personal data will not leak out. And only accept friend requests from people you have actually met in person, or you have seen, or you known, where the known friends are there. Only accept these friends. And then you can set your social networks to accept friend requests. So nowadays, what is the craze of that? How many followers are there? It doesn't mean those anybody is coming from the acceptance or following that they will start group messages or something. So just to see whether the friends are known to you, whether you are able to accept the request, and then only you can start the messages on that. And even you can disable geolocation settings. So because since it is showing where you are exactly, and you may want to also disable GPS on your phone also. So where it can be possible to what is your setting, where exactly you are and what you are doing. There may be most least possibilities that they can hack your data to. And secure your PC and phone. So securing your data won't help if your smartphones or PC is hacked. To prevent being stalked online, you should build basic security into online life. And always be aware of public Wi-Fi. So you have seen that whenever we go somewhere, Wi-Fi networks are getting, that means we are trying to get the passwords and all. Even though it is secure, we are just checking whether I can get the Wi-Fi connection or not. So maybe through the Wi-Fi also it can be get easily hacked. So if you need to log in, like it may be hotels or it may be anything. So you have to use a virtual private network or any particular pin that you can go, and you can use for that. And even be careful where you leave your smartphones. So with the smartphones and what are the gadgets you are utilizing, from these also the stacking will happen. It is not difficult to install spyware without leaving a trace. Just leaving your phone on your desk for a few minutes is a long enough, because someone is or your fingerprints or taking off your personal information or something. So make sure your phone and computer's passwords are protected. So use a strong password. It is not like just something easy to guess or reset passwords regularly. So which is you can know for that. And even use anti-spyware softwares to detect like any this is a malware softwares that is installed or deleted. So, and even whenever you are installing these software, make sure that these softwares are very important, and whether these are authentic or not. So remember to always log out of your accounts when you are done. So don't leave social networks account as a running one. Be aware of installing apps, as I told you. So when you're accessing, so it is maybe a Facebook or Insta, Twitter, or whatever that, whether it is running or your log off with that account. So while you can take all the legal route to handle cyber stalking, you should ideally try to minimize the situation, minimize the information available against you online. The lesser people know about you, the better is for you. If possible, delete few photos or videos before you go public with your privacy setting. Avoid using your real name and other credentials, so that your data will not come out. And try avoiding people who have red flags all over their profiles and follow. So just they will make a comment to a video, follow to a video. So just hope so. We should avoid all these such kind of, and there are the least possibilities, chances to get stuck.
Yeah, right. And I think this is the age when we should be alert all the time, and there is no scope, for the stalkers or for the those who does such things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tehseen Taj. आपका बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत आभार.
Thank you so much.
As you rightly mentioned this perfect subject on the very specific day. Thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
Mrs. Janani, thank you very much. You have shared your thoughts and your experience with us on this wonderful topic.
Thank you, sir.
As an important topic. Thank you very much. So, dear learners, this was the session of Sahyog on the impact of cyber stalking on mental health and well-being. We are here to conclude this session. Stay tuned for our further presentations, and we will be right back tomorrow morning 8 a.m. Meanwhile, I'll take a leave. Thank you very much. Keep watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.